You know, I hate when I come on here and I sound like a tired old record. Every week, I ask myself the simple question of why. You watch something like NXT this week, and I watch NXT religiously every single week. A 1-hour program that does not make you feel like a fool. It does not insult your intelligence. It makes you proud to be a professional wrestling fan. I don't watch much of 205 Live. I appreciate the effort that Triple H is doing to give us a much better show compared to what Vince McMahon was doing in the Enzo era. But everybody reached out to me and, in numbers, told me, you gotta go watch this match. You gotta go watch Cedric Alexander versus Buddy Murphy for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. 20 plus minutes of a match worthy of being on a Wrestle Kingdom is what some of you said. Now that's some pretty damn high praise for a match on 205 Live. I watched NXT and I watched 205 Live this week, and I asked myself why. Why don't we see at least a tenth of what these shows offer on Monday Night Raw, specifically Raw and SmackDown Live? I never understand the defense of WWE in these instances. I don't. Just like I don't understand the defense of WWE with all the unintelligent ones. The people who just are void of coming up with a thought on their own because they are mere sheep in this community. WWE's making all this money. They don't have to change a thing. Yeah, you're right, but what business is it of you to know or care how much money they are making? And I went into detail. And I ranted and raved how WWE, with this new television deal with both NBC Universal and Fox, the more money they make, the less the quality of the show will be. The quality of the show will deteriorate. Over the next 5 years, it will be worse than what we are getting now. Why don't we see 1/10 of what we're getting on these shows on Monday Night Raw? It's entertainment, they say. It's entertainment is their excuse. Well, color me fucking pink. It's entertainment. Do you watch a wrestling show to laugh? Do you watch a wrestling show as, and I almost mispronounced wrestling twice because I'm trying to collect a fucking thought here. Do you watch a wrestling show as a comedy show? Like you're watching an Andrew Dice Clay or a Jerry Seinfeld or a Louis C.K. or any of those guys. You watch a wrestling show to laugh? Or do you watch a wrestling show to see an athletic competition between two men who are important to this industry fight over championship gold? Fighting for a reason. Fighting to not make you laugh, but fighting to have you sit there with your jaw dropped and remember their name on the car ride, train ride, bus ride, plane ride home. Or do you want to be entertained through WWE's mindless, soulless, unfunny comedy? Comedy of a 70-year-old demented old man who doesn't know what the fans want anymore. Who is as ignorant as they come It goes in one ear and out the other. He is not in tune with his own audience. He's in tune with the presidents that reside on every dollar bill that's floating out there. That's his audience. That's who he's making happy. Not me. Not you. Not everybody buying the t-shirts and buying tickets to attend these shows. Why? You do realize that if WWE took a little sample of what they do in NXT and applied it to Monday Night Raw, do you know how much better the shows would be? Why do we watch NXT and storylines continue week to week to week to week? Why do we watch NXT and we care about characters on television week to week to week to week? Why do their championships feel so important? Why do their champions feel like they belong? Meanwhile, on Monday Night Raw, you have a champion holding its main title who is absent for 7 months out of the year. You have a tag team championship where jack shit. You got a women's championship being held by someone who doesn't even belong in a wrestling ring. Then on SmackDown Live, you do have a world champion that is worth every fucking penny you're paying him. But you're misusing him. You've ruined a dream feud for many of us with your own stupidity. Tag team champions on SmackDown Live that don't mean shit, that have not even defended the titles coming out of WrestleMania. You have a United States champion right now that doesn't even have a role at your next major pay-per-view. You have a women's champion who WWE right now, according to sources, is absolutely embarrassed by because they have finally admitted she can't wrestle. Yet WWE is doing everything right in NXT. Everything. Monday Night Raw seen absolutely rinse and repeat psychology 1 week to the other. As if WWE doesn't realize what they did last week, or they do realize what they did last week. They feel like, wow, this got a good reception. Let's do it again. Because we don't have anything else to do on this Memorial Day holiday. And nobody's going to know the difference. They gave you Finn Balor and Braun Strowman last week, and then they want to do it again this week. The only difference here is it's set up for next week. It's set up Bobby Roode versus Braun Strowman. Wow. One match I couldn't wait to see, with Bobby Roode making his main roster debut. And Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens, which should be a good match. WWE literally took the script from the week prior and applied it to this week and said, you know what? Fuck this show. I am not leaving my spot with a cold beer and a barbecue party going on behind me. That's what they did. I don't even think they even went to Titan Tower. I don't even think they sat in the creative offices at Stamford, Connecticut, at WWE headquarters to even write this show. They threw the script out for last week's show. They went back into the trash, unwrinkled it, and tried to fucking iron it out so it looks new. They took a fucking pencil, because this is what this show is written in, either pencil or crayon by a fucking 4-year-old, because anybody on this planet who's a professional wrestling fan, I'm sure, could write a better show. And they erased certain segments, they pieced together another show, and there you go. That's exactly what they did with Monday Night Raw. The only thing on Monday Night Raw that was worth anything to anybody was Elias setting up his feud with Seth Rollins. And that is going to be the major story that we talk about today on Off the Script, because with the tease and the potential announcement of this match, I do believe it was announced on WWE's website that Elias is coming for the Intercontinental Championship, that the match is made for Money in the Bank. That is going to be a major talking point with the top story today on Off the Script, because when that segment happened, many on social media are backing Elias to win the Intercontinental Championship. We'll talk about it. I don't want to get ahead of myself. But then that would set up Seth Rollins to do exactly what I had pitched weeks ago. And if this is exactly what is happening, there will be no doubt in my mind that somebody's listening to this show. Elias set up a match with Seth Rollins. Elias doesn't have the greatest win-loss record in the WWE. Elias has been used greatly. He is over, he is natural, he is organic. Nobody gets a natural heel feeling better than Elias on Monday Night Raw. Like I said, his win-loss record is not the greatest in the world. But when has wins or losses mattered in WWE? When I mentioned Elias should be getting a shot at the Intercontinental Championship, people came out and says, well, JD, his win-loss record isn't really all that spectacular. Why would you put him in there above anybody else? Who the fuck cares? Now you want to use win-loss record as your defense because you want to prove me wrong? Sit the fuck down, motherfucker. Sit the fuck down. There's nobody better than Elias. Bobby Roode is trash. The rest of the mid-card is garbage. Sami Zayn is obviously fucking drowning on Monday Night Raw. Bobby Lashley, you might as well give him his pink slip. Nobody wants to see him on television. There is nobody on that roster right now, in that mid-card, better than Elias at what he is doing. So I dare you to find somebody better than Elias to go one-on-one with Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank. That was the entire importance of Raw. Elias setting up that match at Money in the Bank. And I like the decision. I don't like the fact that WWE waited so long to get this feud going. We are 2.5 weeks away from Money in the Bank. That is the only thing I don't like about this decision. The fact is that there's really no time to tell a great story here. Why are they feuding outside of a simplistic reason for Seth Rollins interrupting Elias's one-on-one concert with him in the audience? That's not really a basis or a foundation to build a feud over the Intercontinental Championship. I would expect something more, especially with the body of work Seth Rollins has provided us in recent weeks. That's the only negative I take away from that match. WWE continues to make us look like a bunch of blithering idiots with Nia Jax. I didn't mention this on off the script. I'm going to mention it on off the script now. I didn't mention it on my Monday Night Raw review. WWE, a lot of people want to know why I bitch and moan about WWE. Nia Jax has been flaunting the fact that she's the much larger athlete compared to Ronda Rousey, and she's not afraid of the dreaded armbar that Ronda Rousey has in her arsenal. But WWE is trying to convince you that Nia is going to break out of the armbar, that she's not going to be able to apply the armbar, Ronda, on Nia. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it before WrestleMania, around late February, early March, in which Asuka beat Nia Jax and applied the armbar, and Nia Jax could not counter Asuka's armbar? Remember when WWE had plans to do Asuka and Ronda Rousey, and they had her use the armbar because they were teasing a potential match between those two? Nia Jax was a victim of Asuka's armbar. So if Nia couldn't escape Asuka's armbar, what makes you think she's going to escape Ronda Rousey's armbar? No, but I'm supposed to forget that ever happened on Monday Night Raw, right? It's like they don't even realize what the fuck they're booking. And if you're okay with feeling like a stupid idiot, I feel sorry for you, man. I feel sorry for you. Yes, Monday Night Raw is such a great show. JD was decent. You're just too harsh and critical on the product. Really? Pay attention to detail, man. This is what I do. Pay attention to detail. I even went back and watched the fucking episode of that Monday Night Raw. Garbage. You're not supposed to sit here and believe Nia Jax has any chance against Ronda Rousey. Too little, too late. Too little, too late. WWE continues to make a mockery of their tag team division. Fucking B-Team Barbecue was the biggest fucking stereotypical segment I've ever seen in my entire life, man. You think Titus Catering is a fucking fib? You think Titus Catering is some fucking imaginary thing that I made up? No, man. Titus Catering is the real deal. Titus Catering is alive and well, man. Believe me. When you got Titus O'Neil expressing that this is a fake-ass barbecue and him wanting macaroni and cheese and brisket and all this other shit that I'm sure he loves cooking up, it ain't no fib, man. The man is a top-tier chef. He is a catering service beyond anything you've ever seen. The WWE scrubs are well fed and taken care of by Titus Catering. The WWE Tag Team division is an absolute fucking mockery, man. We discussed this on Monday Night Raw review. It's so sad how the revival is on television. And we're all excited to see them make their Monday Night Raw debut. This is going to enhance the tag team division. And then you got Scott Dawson in this segment, coincidentally written by Road Dogg. I guess he was moved over to Monday Night Raw as a producer. So if you want to blame these segments on anybody, look at who's producing them. At least he's off SmackDown Live, right? You got Scott Dawson waving a fucking hot dog that did not even look cooked. It looked raw. It looked like it was ripped right from the package and placed in a fucking bowl. And you got Scott Dawson over there waving around a fucking uncooked beef hot dog as if it's a fucking dildo. Maybe it was a dildo because WWE has fucked him and Dash Wilder up the ass so hard that they will never recover. And again, I ask why. How do you watch their matches with DIY and not want to push this team? And then you got the fucking idiots on social media who don't see anything special in the revival. Oh, they're boring. Oh, they remind me of a tag team from the 80s with the leather jacket and the big beard and the black tights. No charisma. Excuse me? They certainly had charisma down at NXT. They certainly were putting on match of the year candidates in NXT. So what happened on Monday Night Raw? Oh, I know! They don't appreciate professional wrestling on Monday Night Raw. It's all entertainment. If you find Scott Dawson on Monday Night Raw waving around a fucking hot dog as if it's a fucking dildo as entertainment, I don't think you should be watching the show, man. I don't even think you should be watching anything sports related. You shouldn't be on social media. You shouldn't be anything anywhere near this sport. It's an embarrassment. Now look at the landscape of Monday Night Raw's tag team division. Of all the teams you have in that ring, you're pushing the B team. The B team. Why would you want to be a part of the B team? It's like they're labeling you as, this guy's a fucking throwaway talent. These guys are nobodies. The B team. It's the best you could come up with. Meanwhile, you got the Revival. You got the Authors of Pain. You got Sanity, who hasn't even made their debut on SmackDown Live. And you want to push fucking Apollo Crews, Titus O'Neil, Heath Slater, Rhino, and the fucking B team. The Ascension has even seen more TV time on Monday Night Raw than the Authors of Pain. Monday Night Raw's tag team division, you look back 2-3 years ago when these teams were thriving in NXT, they are completely different entities. You look at them now, they aren't worth a single fucking minute on TV. You couldn't give a single fuck about any of these fucking guys in that ring on Monday Night Raw. And WWE wants to tout that their tag team division is overly competitive. People are claiming that they want to see Chad Gable and Jason Jordan back together on Monday Night Raw. For what? For what? So you could see Chad Gable fling around fucking hot dogs and pretend they're dildos too? NXT has made these guys feel important. Monday Night Raw has made these guys want to fucking quit. It's all entertainment, right? According to John Cena, we should all be appreciative of the spot we're given in WWE. Fuck out of here, man. Absolutely ridiculous. What a waste Monday Night Raw is. And it just continues to get worse. It continues to get worse. And those were just the highlights of Monday Night Raw. Imagine sitting through 3 hours of this fucking cancer. No doubt in my mind, you watch Monday Night Raw live on the USA Network from 8 to 11, no question, you're going to contact an unknown disease. Believe me. Ridiculous. SmackDown Live was at least a little bit more redeeming to the people watching at home and to the people in the audience. Samoa Joe, Big Cass, and Daniel Bryan went at it in a triple threat match. We discussed a week ago on SmackDown Live Review that Samoa Joe should definitely be the one to advance to Money in the Bank. That was when it was just a mere one-on-one match with Daniel Bryan. JD, why would you have Daniel Bryan lose and not go into Money in the Bank? Well, Samoa Joe certainly is more deserving of it at this point. B, Daniel Bryan doesn't need to be in Money in the Bank because Daniel Bryan and his storyline doesn't call for it. Also, you do realize that the man just came back from a concussion injury that almost ended his career. Do you want to see Daniel Bryan in a ladder match with 7 other guys? One of them being Braun Strowman? I think I want Daniel Bryan in one piece. We don't need Daniel Bryan going into a ladder match and then showing up on Tuesday night on SmackDown Live announcing his second retirement. Samoa Joe is going to be a vital piece to that match. He's going to come close, he's going to look strong, and he's going to look good. But Samoa Joe is not going to win the Money in the Bank. You see, a guy like Samoa Joe and Braun Strowman on Monday Night Raw, they are there to be the giants of the match. They are there to be the muscle of the match. Can you picture Samoa Joe carrying around a briefcase, claiming that he's Mr. Money in the Bank? Why the fuck does he need Money in the Bank when he's already came out and staked claim at the WWE Championship? And then if you look at SmackDown Live, there really is nobody on SmackDown Live worthy of being a number one contender. So why does Joe need the Money in the Bank? They have not positioned anybody to be a number one contender outside of Samoa Joe. So Joe is out. Joe is out. Braun Strowman? Braun Strowman is not going to be a guy to win that match and take the briefcase because it doesn't fit his character. Braun Strowman is going to be there to cause chaos. The briefcase is going to somebody that is going to serve it well and make it something that is going to be a highlight for the rest of the year. That's going to build to something greater. That's why The Miz is going to win Money in the Bank. There is nobody in that match that is a more perfect winner than The Miz. WWE tried to throw us a curveball here with Big Cass. Big Cass comes back. Apparently the injury that he suffered over in Europe during WWE's European tour was all a work. WWE played it well. Everybody was reporting that Big Cass was going to be out another 6 months. I didn't want him to be out 6 months, but I also don't want to see Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass again at Money in the Bank. You look at Money in the Bank's undercard, and you question yourself as to, this is the best WWE can do? Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal. Big Cass versus Daniel Bryan. Sami Zayn versus Bobby Trashley. Am I watching Money in the Bank? Am I watching a Big 5 pay-per-view? Or am I watching an episode of Monday Night Raw? Doesn't feel like a pay-per-view. Doesn't look like a pay-per-view. Big Cass comes back and he stakes claim that this is his match. And Paige makes it a triple threat match, being that Big Cass is now cleared to go back into in-ring competition. Daniel Bryan lost this match as Samoa Joe choked him out. It's exactly the ending that I wanted if they went one-on-one. Samoa Joe choked out Daniel Bryan and he passed out from the Coquina Clutch. Big Cass, in retaliation for all the attacks that Daniel Bryan gave to Big Cass just a couple of weeks ago, got his revenge and beat down Daniel Bryan after the match. Now, my original pitch for creative was Samoa Joe beating Daniel Bryan in the same way that he beat him in this triple threat match. Joe would go on to Money in the Bank and he would get that last qualifying spot. Daniel Bryan would have nothing to do at Money in the Bank, and if Big Cass was really injured, I'd say put Daniel Bryan against Jeff Hardy for the United States Championship, being that we got a nice little tease on SmackDown Live just a week ago. Jeff Hardy could easily come out and say, we had a great match. I respected the thing that we did in the ring. Let's put the title on the line because I know I can beat you. Boom. That's all you need. If you want to get these two guys who have nothing to do on the show, there you go. Now that Big Cass is back, Joe is in the Money in the Bank. Daniel Bryan is left without a match. Jeff Hardy is left without a match. And Big Cass is left without a match. One of them doesn't belong. Two of them are feuding with one another. Not really what I want. In my eyes, Big Cass doesn't belong in the spot that he's in. It should be Daniel Bryan versus Jeff Hardy. Instead, we're going to get Big Cass versus Daniel Bryan, and Jeff Hardy still doesn't have an opponent. At this point, I don't even know if he's going to be on the show. And if he is, it sounds like and looks like he's going to be defending that title on the pre-show against a Shelton Benjamin, because WWE has nothing to do with Jeff Hardy. Boy, is creative so garbage. Creative is so fucking garbage. Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles continue to build their last man standing match. Nakamura is playing a villainous heel very, very well. He's got this countdown thing going on. Counting up to 10. WWE has this new gimmick for him leading into the last man standing match. How can we build on this counting up to 10 gimmick? Oh, that's right. Let's put him against the perfect 10. Ty Dillinger. Guarantee you that was discussed. Guarantee you that was the verbiage used in the creative meetings for SmackDown Live this week. God, they are so predictable. Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles, I'm not really feeling it at the moment. I'm not really feeling it. They have done well with Nakamura in this role. I'm just waiting for it all to be over at this point. I really am. I think WWE has taken the bat and beaten us over the head with this false finish shit too long now. And that's in the back of everybody's mind going into Money in the Bank. It's a last man standing match. It leaves WWE an opening to do the same thing again, because it's very easy to book these guys to not make the 10 count, at the same time. So that's going to be on everybody's mind. I hope not. I hope when we get out of this fucking mess that we are going to get Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles. But you have to realize there's another B-level pay-per-view coming up called Extreme Rules in July. Or is WWE going to start a Samoa Joe, AJ Styles feud at Extreme fucking Rules? Or is WWE going to give us a fuck finish with Nakamura and Styles that bleeds into Extreme Rules, which could easily call for another stipulation? I think that's what's going to happen. The tag team division on SmackDown Live continues to be a piece of shit. Instead of giving me the Usos in a tag team match, we get the Usos in a fucking dance-off with Lana and Naomi. Correct me if I'm wrong, both women are in Money in the Bank, right? How is this building me intrigue about both competitors winning Money in the Bank? I don't know. Oh, but JD, they shake their ass, man. It was a good segment because Lana was shaking your ass, man. I don't know, man. You know, if I want to see shaking someone's ass, I'll go watch an appropriate website. If I want to see wrestling, this is why I tune into SmackDown Live. Is Lana shaking her ass going to make me want to see her win Money in the Bank? Yeah, because this is what we're pushing as part of the women's revolution, correct? This is what we're pushing as part of the women's initiative, right? It's bad enough we got Carmella as champion. Now you want to see Lana win Money in the Bank? All these people claiming Lana should win Money in the Bank. Are you fucking mental? You know the woman can't wrestle. You know the woman is god-awful as a professional wrestler. And the people that I listen to, the people that I watch, rant and rave and fucking are all just positive about Lana. She is as bad as Dana Brooke. She's more attractive than Dana Brooke. I'd rather see her, appearance-wise, over Dana Brooke, but they are one and the same. If you're going to criticize Dana Brooke, you might as well criticize fucking Lana. Tag team division's dead on SmackDown Live, man. Complete fucking irrelevant garbage. Who are the tag team champions again? I don't fucking know. The Bludgeon Brothers? Have they defended the titles coming out of WrestleMania? Of course not. Then you got Gallows and Anderson winning a number one contender match. Can someone fill me in on why they were granted a number one contenders match? What the fuck have they done to get a number one contenders match? Oh, wins and losses don't matter. That's right. Wins and losses don't matter. We just put anybody in a random situation week to week because we don't know what the fuck we're doing. We don't give a shit about our shows. We have a $1 million fucking contract waiting for us from Fox Sports. Speaking of the women, Carmella is absolutely fucking awful. You can hide and you can bitch at the fans all you want on social media, Mella. You are garbage. Mella is not money. Mella is cringe. You know, WWE is reportedly disappointed in Carmella because they are disappointed in the fact that she and her wrestling skills have not progressed. Really now, did you need 280 days with the Money in the Bank briefcase to figure that one out? Now we know why she held on to the briefcase so long. Why the fuck did you give her the championship then? If that's WWE's mentality here, and you wanted Charlotte without the championship going into the summer, why didn't you have Asuka beat Charlotte at WrestleMania? Why would you even think about Carmella cashing in the briefcase and becoming the SmackDown Live Women's Champion? If you're so disappointed in her, why didn't you have her cash in and fail? And then WWE is pretending like Carmella is going to be able to withstand Asuka. Are you fucking people out of your mind? Asuka and Carmella. Oh, but JD Carmella's got 2 victories over Charlotte. I don't give a fuck. This isn't Charlotte anymore, motherfucker. This is Carmella, and we know she can't wrestle. The woman was in a match with Charlotte fucking Flair. If Dave Meltzer is giving you a half a star in a match with Charlotte Flair, and Charlotte Flair couldn't even make you look good, what the fuck does that say about your performance? Get the fuck out of my ring, Carmella. She is becoming the new version of Enzo Amore, and for all the wrong reasons. The sooner that belt is off her, the better. The sooner that belt is off Nia Jax, the better. Look at who your champions are on SmackDown Live and Monday Night Raw, respectively. Total divas. This is a women's evolution? Or are we living in the day and age of Lay Cool and fucking the Bella Twins? Give me a fucking break. Ridiculous. What's the difference between then and now? The only difference is we're not seeing bra and panties matches. Otherwise, it's the same shit. Moving on, man. NXT. And as I'm thinking about NXT, I'm thinking about one thing I didn't mention on Monday Night Raw. Speaking of the women, might as well just get this out there. Sasha Banks.
Oh, JD, Sasha Banks is not Seth Rollins. She's not the Seth Rollins of the women's division, man.
You know, a lot of you guys undersell Sasha Banks for whatever reason. I don't know if it's you don't like her as an in-ring performer, or you're just sick and tired of her getting pushed and pushed and pushed and failing and failing and failing, or if you just don't like, Sasha Banks from the very beginning. I don't know what it is with your dislike and disdain for Sasha Banks. But WWE, they tried to mimic the gauntlet match for the women just like they did with the men. And they failed miserably at it on Monday Night Raw. They should have booked that match the same way that WWE booked the men's match back before the Elimination Chamber. Sasha Banks should have been the first one in that match. And she should have ran through everybody. And then Bayley should have been the last one to come out after Sasha Banks lasted 25 minutes. Going against a Mickie James and a Ruby Riott. And taking care of the Riott Squad with Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan. That's the way it should have been built. But no, WWE wants to have this weird fucking way of doing it. And Sasha get the win in the end in the most anticlimactic way. If you wanted to continue building story between Bayley and Sasha Banks, there you go. Another perfect in for you to build that feud, continue it, and then eventually turn Sasha Banks heel, which we desperately need. WWE didn't do it. They figured, you know what? We're going to drop the whole Bayley versus Sasha Banks feud because we have Nia and Ronda Rousey fighting for the title. And then we're going to turn Natalya here when she wins Money in the Bank. Whatever. Just take away from your most talented women and give to the ones who can't fucking wrestle. NXT, man. The one show on this fucking weekly programming stint that doesn't make you feel like a fucking idiot. Ricochet. How many of you now are eating your words on Ricochet? Oh, he's a vanilla midget. Oh, all he does is flips and dives, and he's a show-off, and it's not wrestling. Blah, 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 blah. Right? All he had to do was cut a promo against Velveteen Dream. All he had to do was do a fucking somersault over the fucking ropes from the ring, landing on his feet, on the ramp, on the stage, and go up to Velveteen Dream after Dream said, "Whatever you can do, I can do better." So he pulls out this move over the top rope, lands on his fucking feet, gets up into Velveteen Dream's face, and then does, "Show me." If that doesn't get your dick hard for their match, I don't know what the fuck will, man. How many of you now are on the Ricochet boat sailing on into the future of WWE, huh? How many of you were detractors of Ricochet before he came to WWE? Oh, this guy sucks. This guy can't cut a promo. He's making strides, ain't he? How many of you are talking about that segment now this week? Right? Yeah. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. They are going to steal the show at Takeover Chicago, which we're not really hearing a lot about. We're not hearing a lot about Takeover Chicago. It's kind of flying under the radar for whatever reason. I don't know why, man, but they're quietly putting together a solid card. Not as good as what we've seen in New Orleans, but a solid card nonetheless. And the one factor we have to hang our hats on here going into Chicago is, has there ever been a bad Takeover? There's one show during that weekend that's going to outperform the rest. It's Takeover. In Chicago, of all cities. Velveteen Dream versus Ricochet could be a match of the year candidate. Don't sleep on Lars Sullivan and Aleister Black for the NXT Championship. Lars Sullivan has been put in big match situations, and he has looked good in every situation that WWE is putting him in. Why do you think he's getting the opportunity now? He looked good in a Fatal 4-Way right before Philadelphia. He looked great in the ladder match for the North American Championship. Lars Sullivan looks like he belongs. Not just because of the way he looks, but the way he's been performing. So don't sleep on Lars Sullivan versus Aleister Black for the NXT Championship. Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa, official for a street fight. Takeover Chicago. Can you go wrong with that? I mean, who on this planet watching this product is not excited about that match? It's going to steal the whole fucking weekend. Adam Cole. Nobody knows what they're doing with Adam Cole, but I'm assuming since the Undisputed Era are feuding with Lorcan and Birch, Adam Cole may be defending the North American Championship against a Pete Dunne. That would be the only right thing to do in this instance, and you want to have Adam Cole on NXT TakeOver, don't you? Everybody wants to see Pete Dunne compete more in NXT, don't you? There you go. Shayna Baszler's coming along quite well. A real bullying angle, if you've been paying attention. I don't know why you guys aren't watching NXT. You know, they do things right in NXT where they do things wrong on Monday Night Raw. Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss gave you the worst bullying storyline that they could possibly ever conceive. Shayna Baszler plays the role of a bully, not Alexa Bliss. Dakota Kai plays a great victim, not Nia Jax. The fake tears from Nia made me want to legitimately fucking cry myself. And not because I was sad, because I was embarrassed. Dakota Kai made Shayna Baszler look like $1,000,000 fucking bucks just for the role of the bullying angle she played. Great. Baszler pushed her shit in as far as she could. She dominated most of the match. Dakota Kai started to fight back. And Shayna Baszler ended up retaining the title in the end. And then after the bell rang, she went right back on the attack on Dakota Kai again. Up until Nikki Cross came out, and Nikki Cross, psychotic as always, claimed that she wants to go one-on-one with Shayna Baszler tonight in a way to get some revenge for Dakota Kai. You, me, tonight, she says, against Shayna Baszler. And she wants Dakota Kai as a special guest referee. So Nikki Cross puts her in a finishing move, and boom. Pretends like she wins the World Championship. Or the NXT Women's Championship. And then she takes the title and she starts laughing with the title on the ramp. This is storyline progression, people. How many times have the women ended Monday Night Raw and you cared? Hardly ever. When Sasha Banks won that qualifying match, did you care? No. I didn't. I didn't at all. But when Shayna Baszler and Nikki Cross and Dakota Kai ended NXT this week, did you care? Yes. You cared. I cared. And you wanted to see more just because of the unpredictability factor of it. They don't make you feel like an idiot. They don't make you feel like a fucking idiot. And that's why I love NXT, man. 205 Live, Buddy Murphy and Cedric Alexander. I don't normally talk about 205 Live here, but today we're going to talk about 205 Live. The closing 5 minutes of that match. Holy shit. Holy shit did they beat the shit out of each other. Right before Cedric hit the lumbar check. That was fucking edge of your seat type action. 205 Live needs to get the fuck off of SmackDown Live. Or, if they go to Fox next year, you gotta tape the fucking show before SmackDown Live. So at least they have full audience. Do you know how fucking disappointed I get when I see a match like this conclude and I see the majority of red seats in the audience because I know people walked out before 205 Live even hit the air? That shit irks the shit out of me. You know, there were chants of "this is awesome," but very, very faintly. If this match was on a takeover, or if this match was done at Full Sail University, can you imagine the reception these guys would have gotten? Why isn't this being moved to Full Sail University? Why isn't the Cruiserweight Championship being defended at WWE pay-per-views? Why isn't the Cruiserweight Championship, move it down to a takeover? Takeover performs in big arenas. Why don't you do the championship matches on Takeover? The 205 Live brand should be affiliated with NXT. Should not be affiliated with the main roster in any way. Where the fuck did Buddy Murphy come from, man? This guy's the Cinderella fucking story of the year. Guy's in WWE for 5 years, former NXT champion, has nothing to his name outside of being engaged to Alexa Bliss. My God, has his stock risen in WWE. How could you look at that match with Cedric Alexander and not want to see that on Monday Night Raw? Weren't the Cruiserweights a part of the Raw show? How could you take that match and put it on Monday Night Raw and just let those guys sink in a sea of mediocrity on Monday Night Raw and give them 5 minutes? That's what they were doing before Triple H took over. Why isn't the Cruiserweights on Monday Night Raw now? Oh, I wonder why. Because they're outperforming everybody else on Monday Night Raw. You put that match in the main event of Monday Night Raw, I guarantee you, they got that entire arena on their feet. Such a shame, man, to see 205 Live in its best days since the Cruiserweight Classic, and it's still not getting the appreciation that it rightfully deserves. No doubt in my mind, when we do a year-end, top 10 matches of the year for WWE, that's going to be right up there. I don't understand why we see NXT and 205 Live consistently give you television week to week to week to week. And Monday Night Raw finds it to be the most difficult, arduous, just fucking confusing task that ever was. Such a shame how the main roster is built on entertainment over wrestling, and they can't even get the entertainment portion of it right. If you find backyard barbecues or B-team barbecues entertainment, I feel for your soul, man. I really do. Entertainment to me is exactly what I watched on 205 Live. Entertainment to me is what I watched on NXT this week with Ricochet and Velveteen Dream. That is entertainment. You don't need to get into comedy and pop culture to find your form of entertainment on a professional wrestling show. If you put matches like we've seen on NXT and 205 Live on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live, people will come. That was already proven with SmackDown Live in 2016. What were they doing outside of everything else? Wrestling. Where were their highest ratings? Then. Why were the shows being praised so much? Because of the wrestling and the storyline-driven angles that we got on SmackDown Live. I don't know anything. I'm just a fucking basement-dwelling virgin who talks about WWE for a living, who doesn't know jack shit. Meanwhile, the proof is in the pudding. Oh my God. We got a lot to go over today, man. We got a lot to go over. WWE may be taking my idea, man. If WWE gets their hands on Seth Rollins going into SummerSlam and he is not the Intercontinental Champion, we may be looking at somebody other than Roman Reigns taking that title off of Brock Lesnar. What am I talking about? We'll talk about it, man. Elias is really making a push, not only on TV, but with the fans on social media, to become the new Intercontinental Champion. Is Seth Rollins now, as of today, the front runner to dethrone Brock Lesnar? We'll talk about all that plus so much more, man. This is episode 224 of Off the Script for your June 1st, 2018. Let's hit the intro, and I'll be right back with today's top stories right here on Off the Script. Off this shitty fucking product by coming on here and speaking the fucking goddamn truth about this fucking filth.
I can book a better show taking a fucking dump after eating my fucking Chipotle chorizo with extra cheese.
I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. Have I ever? Of course not.
WWE is great, man. Fuck you, Japan, and Kenny Omega, Okada. Delete! What is it, Vince? Can I suck your dick? What is it, Vince?
Well, this is the #1 fucking podcast.
Right here on YouTube.com! This
Is off the script. I don't know if you guys actually caught the Mauro Ranallo program that was on Showtime. The whole documentary on Mauro and his bipolar condition. I watched it and it was unbelievably inspiring, man. It was a real take and a real inside the life of Mauro, dating back to his childhood where he grew up and his condition growing up into his teen years, into his 20s, the struggles that he went through, the jobs that he was not able to perform, relationships deteriorating and lost because of his condition, friends even today then didn't know how to handle it, and the things that he does to keep himself and his mind occupied. It was truly inspiring to see someone go through so much struggle and still come out on top as being the best voice in this industry. There's a reason why I take to Mauro so well, and so much. I do my thing with House of Glory, and I look at him, and I look at the way he works, and I look at the way he uses his voice, and how talented he is, and so quick-witted with everything. And I truly inspire to be that when I do my House of Glory commentary. My work ethic has always been there. Ever since I started this YouTube thing, my work ethic has always been there. When I get ready for a show, I got, my iPhone full with notes on literally everything from show to show. I go back and I watch old footage. I go back and watch YouTube video. I go back and watch certain aspects of the match, and I use that, and I put that in the commentary for the new event that we're doing. Storyline is key. Storyline progression is key. Telling the story to the audience at home watching on YouTube is key. Building up talent and making them look good is key. He is definitely the voice of our generation when it comes to professional wrestling, man. There's nobody right now that does it better. And to see someone go through so much struggle and maintain that about him is unbelievable. And I actually tweeted him after the thing was over. I'm like, you are an inspiration to us all, man. That's why I look up to you first and foremost when, we talk about the most talented at what you do in our sport. And that's exactly what he is. If you guys missed it, man, the bipolar rock and roller. If you guys got Showtime, I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. But I have Showtime on my Verizon cable, and I watched it as it happened last week. So go and check it out, man. It is highly worth your hour and 20 minutes that it aired. Great story. Couple of tearjerker moments in the program. Not going to lie, but it's a great showcase from his childhood, growing up, to his teen years, all the gigs that he attended, an inside scoop onto what the guy does behind closed doors. Even they documented his return to WWE and his personality and his talent being brought into NXT. Just great, man. So please go out and watch it. The bipolar rock and roller, definitely a great watch if you are a fan of what Mauro Ranallo does behind the microphone. Speaking of behind the microphone, man, I was at House of Glory this past Tuesday, I believe. And I got my days all mixed up because I'm lacking sleep. I don't sleep anymore. But I was at House of Glory and the House of Glory School this week. I had the opportunity to be amongst all the young trainees and Everybody getting their practice in because House of Glory has a show on June 9th. Mark Tremonti has a new album out on June 8th. A Dying Machine. Go and pick it up. But June 9th is House of Glory, man. And if you're a fan of The Amazing Red, he is the guy there. He is the main guy there with Bryan XL. And Red is actually the House of Glory World Champion. He was there, and he gave a speech to all the students for about 45 minutes. And it was about, from what I heard, don't take these opportunities for granted. Do your part on being proud to be a part of the House of Glory roster. Be proud that you don't have to do much work to get booked on these shows with us. Some of the guys there are getting top-tier talent lined up for them. You got your Anthony Gangones, you got your Cash Flow Ken Broadways over at House of Glory. You got your Evander James coming up now. And you got your Sony Strongs. Those are the big names there. Those are the household names for House of Glory. And the students, sometimes they take things for granted. I mean, you got fucking Amazing Red teaching you fucking anything you want to know about professional wrestling. And people are late on their payments to the school. And the payments for the school, I think he mentioned, are $125 a month to learn from the Amazing Red at House of Glory in Queens. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? And if I wanted to be a professional wrestler, sign me up. $125 a week. Some of these people just take it for granted, man. They don't realize what they have in front of them. They got social media and they want to be talking about everything but House of Glory. Or if you are in House of Glory, you're not taking it serious enough to where you're promoting the next event. Expressing how proud you are, getting the name of House of Glory School out there. You're not staying in character if you're a professional wrestler. That is a key aspect. If you want to be a professional wrestler, kiss your Twitter life goodbye, man. Seriously. If you are a villain, and a professional wrestling villain, why would you go out tweeting pictures of you and the guy you're wrestling at the next event, pounding beers and watching a fucking sporting event at a bar? Why are you going to be photographed with him and his family for Memorial Day? You see Samoa Joe getting off track on Twitter? You see Matt Hardy getting off track on Twitter? Matt Hardy does the personal life, but his personal life is his gimmick. Everything revolves around the Hardy compound. Everything revolves around Queen Rebecca and King Maxwell and Lord Wolfgang. So he has an in right there. You're going to see Samoa Joe praising Roman Reigns on social media. Roman Reigns' birthday was last week. Did you see Samoa Joe wish Roman Reigns happy birthday? Fuck no. This is the fucking stupid shit that WWE did last year. Remember when Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman were battling up and down Monday Night Raw week after week? Roman Reigns getting thrown off fucking loading docks the next week. Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns are in Rome taking pictures together by the fucking Roman Coliseum. Weren't you just thrown off a loading dock a week ago? What the fuck are you doing standing next to this guy? You take things for granted, man. So I had the opportunity to sit there and listen to Red just go over the important aspects of what it means to be a professional wrestler and to have all this vast knowledge in front of you. Be proud of where you are, man. Just a great listen, and the guy is full of knowledge, and it's always great to hear him speak because of where he's come from and where he is today, man. He's better now than he was then. I was also there to conduct interviews with some of the talent, so hopefully you guys will see that on YouTube. I did an interview with Evander James, the Crown Jewel Champion, getting ready for our next event on June 9th. If you're in the New York City area, man, HOGWrestling.net. I love this time of year, man. When House of Glory has a new event coming up, I get excited. I love being there. I wish we did it more often. This is going to be the last event before the August event, which is going to be the weekend of SummerSlam, but I think it's going to be happening on that Friday before SummerSlam because they're not going to put a House of Glory event on in Queens that Saturday, which they usually do when Saturday would be TakeOver. So it's going to be a big wrestling weekend in August, man. So this is the last event before we get to their high-intensity 7 years of high intensity, man. That's their big summer extravaganza. That's taking place the weekend before, or the weekend of, rather, SummerSlam 2018. I have a box here, man. It's going to be a long podcast. I'm in the mood to talk. If you don't like to hear me talk, get the fuck out of here, man. I got a box here. Loot Anime. I know whoever sent me this box knows I don't watch anime, nor do I care about anime. But I got this box sent to me from Kedrick. He is a VIP goon. He is a longtime listener, and he sent me something just out of the goodness of his heart because he wants to show appreciation. And he surprised me with this. And I didn't open it yet. I just cut the little tape that was at the bottom of the box. And we're going to see what is in here. We're going to open this right now. Let me move my coffee out of the way. Let me take a sip of my coffee, man. Donut Shop Mocha Coconut Coffee, man. I love it. What do we got here, man? He's got a note here. Put on your Sami Zayn reading glasses for this. I wish I had reading glasses. I don't have reading glasses, but let's see what this says. Hey, JD. Just a little thank you for all you do. I had bought this from Loot Crate last year when you were streaming Zelda on the Switch, and it just arrived a week ago. I totally forgot about it until it came. LOL. I know how big of a Zelda fan you are like me. I wished you would have had finished the game, but I understand other things got in the way. Yeah, man, that was a really bad time. I actually played most of the game in solitude because I was just completely fucking miserable about personal things that got in the way. You know I will always support you and the OTS brand any way I can. Wish I was a Patreon, but trying to buy a house right now gets in the way, but you know I watch every video you post. The road to 100,000 will be here sooner than you think. Hope you like this. Talk to you later on the Twitter. Peace, bro, and fuck the trolls and the haters. Hashtag Roman sucks. Kedrick Orlando Wolverine on Twitter. Kedrick, you are a fucking gentleman and a scholar, man. I got to make it down to Orlando again, man. I've been wanting to go to Orlando. You know, I want to do my own meet and greet on my own without other parties being involved, even though I did have a good time. I'd like to just visit Orlando again, man. I'd like to rent a nice place that I had like I did. Maybe rent a car this time so I don't have to fucking walk around on foot like a fucking idiot. Oh, my God, man. But I definitely want to make it down to Orlando again. Oh, man. And it's a large, too, bro. Yeah, look at that fucking beast. That is fucking beautiful, man. That is fucking beautiful. Man, I love Zelda. I fucking love Zelda, man. Still, I think the best Zelda of all time is A Link to the Past. That's just the best Zelda game ever. Second would probably be... I don't know, man. It's a tie between Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess, I think. You know, the new one was fucking unbelievable. But it was just too big. It was too big. But, I mean, Zelda really didn't have any bad games whatsoever. I mean, Majora's Mask was probably the worst one, I think. But, and I'm a big Zelda guy, and this shirt is fucking awesome. Ked, thank you so much, brother. Greatly appreciate your support, as always, and hopefully I will see you soon, and I'll be buying you a Guinness, man. I want to definitely make it down to Orlando sooner rather than later. Follow me on Twitter, guys. You guys know the deal. At JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. We had a nice little burst in subscribers. Memorial Day weekend was fucking dead. And I'm assuming that had to do with the Memorial Day holiday. I hope it did. Fingers crossed. So if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, like I said, JD from NY206, hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Doesn't work, but do it anyway. Maybe one of these days it'll work, and maybe one of these days you guys will get notified about my uploads. If you guys missed anything that I did this week, man, a lot of content went out this week. We got Monday Night Raw, got SmackDown Live, we got NXT. We had a God of War stream yesterday for Chapter 5, 2.5 hours. If you guys want to see me yell, rage, and rant about fucking enemies that just don't die, Chapter 5, man, as we go inside the mountain for God of War for PS4. That is live on the channel right now. So make sure you guys go check all that stuff out. Would greatly appreciate it. If you guys want to support the podcast via Patreon, patreon.com/JD from NY206, please do so. Your support is always appreciated. If you guys know the deal by now, hopefully, we got t-shirts. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Don't at me, motherfucker. Just do it. Just do it. 15 different designs on there, plus the new Roman design. And his empire is still not over. Looks like it's never going to be over after the news I read you in a second. But barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Get your t-shirts, man. I will be coming to Pittsburgh in a little over a month. If I don't see his empire is not over t-shirts in attendance for my meet and greets, I'm going to be very disappointed, man. Or if I don't see a Failure Raha t-shirt, if I don't see a They Do It for Roman t-shirt, I better see JD merchandise worn. And when I go to All In, I better see JD merchandise worn, motherfucker. Do it. Save yourself some money, man. I think this coupon code's on Barbershop Window. Get your shirts today. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Harry's.com/script. A couple of you guys came to me this week and said, JD, you were absolutely right about Harry's. I know, man. I know what I'm talking about. I mean, look at this fucking majestic beard that's growing in. I know, man. I know my shaving needs. Harry's, man. Harry's.com/script for your free trial. Razor handle, blade, protective case, and their foaming shave gel, which soothes and hydrates, and it smells fantastic, man. Smells fantastic. Once you get this, you're going to shave. You're going to be like, fuck, JD was right. You're going to go to Harry's.com. You're going to look at all the other shit that they got, and you're going to buy the whole fucking website, man. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. Whatever's in your medicine cabinet right now, going right in the trash. So be a part of Harry's and make Harry's your wingman for all your shaving needs, man. You got a big date coming up? Don't be without Harry's. And you get your free trial. Harry's.com/script. Audible. You guys want your free audiobook and 30 days, 1 month free of their service. You can use our link, audibletrial.com/offthescript. 5 books there you can get, plus 190,000 different choices to choose from. If you guys want fantasy, crime, fiction, romance, politics, sports, wrestling, it's all on there, man. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Thank you guys so very much, man. Love all your support this week. Big show coming up. We got a lot of news to get into. We're going to start off with the big one. Roman may never be over, man. And I'm not going to talk about Roman in a negative way because I just don't really feel the need to. I don't think there is a need to. Roman wasn't even on Monday Night Raw. Did you miss him? I didn't. I didn't even realize he was gone. So how much does Roman, really add to the show if he's not even there? Even if Roman was there, it wouldn't have saved a miserable Monday Night Raw. He does not move the needle. He does not move the needle. Apparently, he asked for time off, and WWE granted it to him because of exhaustion. Good for him. He gets to be away and spend time with his family. Good on him, man. I'm glad WWE gave him the time off to spend, and he'll be right back next week. So it's not like he's going to lose his spot anyway. He's in a feud right now with Jinder fucking Mahal. If anybody gives a shit about that. There was a story about Roman Reigns that I read recently, man, where he was at the airport and he was with his family. And I believe this is where he was given time off and he was, I think, greeted by his family at the airport, and he was, consoling his daughter or attending to something to do with his daughter. And someone recognized him at the airport and came up to him and asked for an autograph. And Roman politely said, I appreciate it, man. Can you give me a little bit? I'm here with my daughter. I have to feed my daughter or something like that. I have to tend to my daughter. You know, I don't get to see my daughter often. I don't get to spend time with my family often. Can you give me a little bit of time? You know, et cetera, which is a respectable thing to do. You know, being Roman, that he's the face of the company, you know, you don't want to come off in a negative way. Any negative PR against you in that instance, against fans, you know, it would snowball very easily. Because he was very respectful to the fan. The fan then rants and raves on social media how Roman Reigns is a sellout, how Roman Reigns turned them away, how Roman did this and Roman did that. And Roman had to go on social media and explain himself in the right situation about what happened. This guy went on social media and berated Roman Reigns for no reason. All he wanted to do was fucking kiss, hug, hold, and feed his daughter. And the guy's being fucking crucified on social media for being a sellout. Yeah, this is what we talk about, man. I'll always stand with the talent in that situation. And that guy is a fucking idiot, you know? Always looking to make a quick fucking 15 minutes of fame. Like, what did you accomplish there by going on social media and roasting Roman Reigns? He roasted you right back and made you feel like a fucking inferior little fucking ant. Get the fuck out of here, man. I would never go up to... If I seen someone like a Reigns or anybody... I remember I was in Orlando when I landed for WrestleMania weekend last year. Like, I got off the fucking plane and I went to go claim my bag, and I seen Connor and Heath Slater standing there. They looked miserable. I didn't go up to them. I could have easily went, "Hey, what's up, Heath Slater? What's going on? What's up, Connor?" I could have spoke to Connor about how I wish they were being pushed on television a lot more. I didn't go up to them. I actually felt like I didn't want to get involved in that situation. The fans just came up to them anyway, and they were like, "Yeah, signing autographs and blah blah blah." You know, I don't like that situation. I remember I seen Sheamus at I don't know where I was. He was in the airport. I think we were flying down to Miami for my best friend's wedding, and I was in the wedding party. I believe we seen like Sheamus. I'm not sure if it was that instance, but I seen Sheamus. Sheamus walking through the fucking airport, getting ready to stand in line to get on the plane. I could have went up to Sheamus and been like, "Hey, bro, what's going on?" You know? No. I didn't do none of that, man. I find that to be fucking terrible. You know, the Randy Orton situation. Remember when Randy Orton had the guy come up to him wanting a picture when Randy Orton's working out in the gym? Right? You can't wait till Randy Orton is done working out. That's time for him to get ready for his job. He's working. He's on the clock there. And you want to fucking have him stop his workout regimen to take a fucking picture so you can post it on Instagram. Couldn't wait till Randy Orton left the gym? Get done with your workout and wait outside for Randy Orton to be done before he goes back to the hotel. "Hey, bro, I didn't want to disturb you, you know, working out. I just wanted to say how much of a fan I am, and if it's all right with you, can I take a picture?" You know, people are so fucking stupid, man. It's like they go all googly-eyed over these celebrities. Do the right thing, man. Don't wait outside their hotel rooms at 4 a.m. as they get off their fucking flight. You know? Don't call the airlines like Sasha Banks says and say, you know, "Is Mercedes coming in? And what time does Mercedes blah, 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 you know, get in from the flight?" Come on, man. That's ridiculous. And I don't blame the wrestlers or the performers for, you know, snapping on fans the way that they do sometimes. Now, it comes with the territory, but there are just some mentally deranged fucks out there. And I don't know why I went off into that tangent. I just thought I seen this Roman Reigns story, and I just wanted to express my support for Roman Reigns in that instance. Believe it or not. You know? But Roman may not be the guy that WWE is looking at anymore for the Universal Championship. Roman says that WWE is doing everything they can to keep him away from the Universal Championship. That one line may ring true for 2018. This is a big update, and it's bound to frustrate many WWE fans. Reports emerged this week that Brock Lesnar's next Universal Championship title defense will not take place until SummerSlam. Money in the Bank, Extreme Rules, and SummerSlam. Put Backlash in that fucking category as well. Backlash, Money in the Bank, Extreme Rules. 3 pay-per-views in a row in which this guy has not defended the Universal Championship. Yet people are quick to say, oh, Brock Lesnar is the longest reigning champion of all time. Really now? When the guy hasn't even appeared on television for 3 fucking months? You're gonna hold Brock Lesnar above CM Punk for title reigns? A, they're 2 different titles. B, you cannot even compare one with the other. This guy is simply holding the championship because of the paycheck that he's receiving every single week from WWE. And B, WWE has held this title on Brock Lesnar for Roman Reigns specifically until plans have possibly changed this week. Lesnar last competed at the Greatest Royal Rumble in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia on April 27th. Now is expected to be featured in the main event on August 19th, meaning it will be 4 whole months before we see the biggest prize on Monday Night Raw talked about again. The inactivity is the reason fans can't wait for him to drop the red strap. Until that point, WWE still has 2 events to get through. Money in the Bank from Chicago in a little over 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. While a couple of matches have already been announced for Extreme Rules in July, which we will talk about. 2 crucial shows which won't feature the Beast Incarnate. For some weeks now, a couple of names have emerged as potential opponents for Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam with the expectation that Lesnar will drop the Universal Championship at last before potentially leaving the WWE with a UFC return as a major possibility. As expected, Roman Reigns was the favorite to be placed into that spot for the 3rd time, with WWE running that angle. That management is trying to keep the big dog away from the Universal title, something no WWE fan is buying into. Braun Strowman is another one who is rumored to be placed into that spot, as reports have been suggesting WWE wants Lesnar to put over both Reigns and Braun Strowman before he leaves for the UFC. Both names make sense as they seem like believable WWE stars that can overcome Lesnar. Reigns, no. Strowman, yes. I do not believe Roman Reigns is a believable opponent. Not because I don't think Reigns can go toe-to-toe with Brock Lesnar in a WWE ring. I just think the damage has been done so far, so much right now. In all the matches that Lesnar and Reigns had, Reigns has not been positioned to beat Brock Lesnar. There's nothing that Reigns could do now, after everything he's done, after the beatings that he's taken. There's nothing he can do to beat Brock Lesnar. So he should be out of the equation forever. Now, Cage Side Seats has revealed, take this with a grain of salt, this is merely a rumor, that WWE is seriously considering Seth Rollins as a potential opponent for the main event match at SummerSlam against Lesnar. Now, we discussed this already, and I pitched the idea a couple of weeks ago that Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins for SummerSlam in the main event, Universal title versus Intercontinental title, would be something that the fans would generate huge buzz for the main event of SummerSlam. Now, there are some detractors out there. You know, you might love what Seth Rollins is doing, but putting a guy like Seth Rollins against a Brock Lesnar does not seem like the most believable choice. And Rollins is not a believable guy to take the title off of Brock Lesnar. Why not? Why not? And I always go back to the CM Punk match at SummerSlam that Brock Lesnar had, which was probably one of his best matches ever. And then the match that we seen in November against AJ Styles. Did AJ Styles make you believe he could beat Brock Lesnar? You damn right he did. Did CM Punk make you believe he could beat Brock Lesnar? Damn right he did. So why wouldn't Seth Rollins be able to do the same against Brock Lesnar? Why does it have to be a Braun Strowman? Why does it have to be a Samoa Joe? Why does it have to be a Roman Reigns? Doesn't have to be any of those guys. I'm not saying Finn Balor could put up a fight and beat Brock Lesnar, but Finn Balor put up a damn good fight against Braun Strowman last week on Monday Night Raw in the main event. And Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar, speaking in WWE terms, are cut from the same cloth. They're both monsters. They're both legit guys. If WWE and Finn Balor made you believe he had any fighting chance to beat Braun Strowman, why couldn't they tell that same story against Brock Lesnar? speed, athleticism, agility, knowledge from the 15 years you've been doing this against Brock Lesnar, who is just overpowering and dominating. It's a great story to tell. Not saying that Baszler could beat Brock Lesnar, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that, a great story could be told. Now, I understand that some people came to me on social media saying, JD, weren't you against the Finn Balor-Brock Lesnar match? Why have you been talking about that lately after seeing him against Braun Strowman? The believability in Finn Balor is probably less than a Rollins or an AJ Styles. Yes, it is. But when WWE was rumored to be doing Balor versus Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, keep in mind that Balor was being buried by Kane. He was buried by Kane on Monday Night Raw. Would you want to see someone who is buried by Kane go into a match with Brock Lesnar? If WWE didn't make him look believable against Kane, what makes you think that they're going to make him look believable against Brock Lesnar? You can't believe that. Finn Balor has been booked a little bit better as of late. Finn Balor's been booked good as of late. Has some great matches with Seth Rollins. Had a great match with Braun Strowman. Still no championships to show for it, but he's been booked better now than he was then. That's why I've been mentioning it. And the match with Braun Strowman really opened up a lot of eyes. You got to give the guy a lot of credit. I think Rollins is perfect for Brock Lesnar. Perfect. Now, he doesn't necessarily need the title, but the title would definitely enhance that match through the roof. IC title, Universal title, champion versus champion. Can the Beast overcome the Beast Slayer? It's a great fucking moniker there, man. It's a great fucking selling point. Now, Rollins is scheduled to defend the Intercontinental Championship at Money in the Bank against Elias. Right there. This week, we got an IC title match. Only thing that I'm concerned with there is that there's no room for build. 2.5 weeks doesn't really constitute a build for the Intercontinental Championship at Money in the Bank when you had 6 weeks for this entire pay-per-view coming out of Backlash. Now, if rumors are to be believed, then Elias could potentially shock everyone. Would it really be a shock? Possibly, the way Seth Rollins has been performing, but Elias is over. By dethroning Rollins, which would then give Rollins the opportunity to leave behind the Intercontinental Championship and then go on and challenge the Universal Champion Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Fans on social media had already given their seal of approval on the speculated plan, especially since Rollins and the quality of work that he has shown on Monday Night Raw and his never say die attitude inside a WWE ring also makes him a more believable option that won't roll over that easily for Brock Lesnar. There also is a story to be told there based on their previous encounter. Remember that Rollins never got his match with Brock Lesnar. It was ruined by The Undertaker, which led to Hell in a Cell. They never went back and revisited those two in a ring since then. Then you had the cash-in at WrestleMania 31. You don't think Lesnar wants to get his hands on Seth Rollins again? You don't think Lesnar wants to repay Seth Rollins for what he did to him? There's a great story to be told there with little or no effort on WWE's behalf. It already tells itself. There's no denying that Seth Rollins has done the best work out of anybody on Monday Night Raw with the Intercontinental Championship around his waist. And he helps elevate the title every single week. Now, with Lesnar nowhere to be seen, Rollins is looked at as the guy. If Lesnar's going to come back and Rollins is still doing what he's doing now, what makes you think Roman Reigns is going to deserve the shot over Seth Rollins? There's nobody with a fucking functioning working brain that's going to pick Reigns over Rollins. What would have Reigns done at that point that Rollins did not? Beat Jinder Mahal? How the fuck does that constitute as a world champion opportunity? It doesn't. Seth Rollins is the guy. Not only realistically, not only storyline-wise, but in every aspect of WWE programming. Rollins is the guy for that spot. Not Strowman and not Roman Reigns. Now, it's obvious that someone of Rollins' talent deserves to be Universal Champion. He is the one guy that's most over on Monday Night Raw, and with more reports pointing to this creative direction, it's looking highly likely that Rollins will be Lesnar's comeback opponent. If WWE plays their cards right, I don't want to, again, sound like a broken record, but this is in the news. I have to report it. If WWE plays their cards right and Rollins gets the opportunity, that leaves the door open for Roman saying, fuck management, fuck the WWE, and fuck the fans. Heel turn is imminent. Can you imagine if Lesnar's not there anymore and Rollins is the guy, the babyface on Monday Night Raw, and Roman has had enough of being deterred away from the main event spot that he goes into business for himself, does recruit the Authors of Pain, and at the end of SummerSlam beats down the new Universal Champion? A heel Roman versus a babyface Seth Rollins, with Roman having aligned with the Authors of Pain? Dude, you know, it tells itself. And then you could bring Dean Ambrose back, and you can have Dean Ambrose befriend Rollins and aid him against Roman. And then have Dean turn on Seth and join Roman. A new Shield, a stronger, better Shield. Dean, Roman, and the Authors of Pain. Come on, bro. You gotta be fucking kidding me, man. If WWE doesn't do at least some of that, they are completely void of any creativity. There is no excuse for not turning Roman Reigns heel if this is the direction you want to go. There is no excuse. We know the guy is being misused and miscast. Roman Reigns is portraying a character that is not believable. I don't hate Roman Reigns. I hate the way he is booked. You do realize that if Roman is heel, it makes everyone else around him better. It makes the show better. If you're bringing the Universal title back to Monday Night Raw, full time, Roman needs to be heel. Nobody's buying that management is holding him down. We're not dumb. You don't main event 3 WrestleManias in a row against Triple H, Lesnar, and The Undertaker, and then come out and say, management's holding me down. Who the fuck put you in those positions? Management. You're not a Grand Slam champion, and then you're going to have him say, management's holding me down. Who the fuck gave you those opportunities? Management. If this happens, might not be for the title, might not be title for title, somebody's clearly listening to my show. Because I had pitched this 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Now, the Roman idea, that's just me pulling fantasy booking out of my ass. Now, if that happens, then I know someone's listening to me. But if this happens, this is the best opportunity for WWE to not only elevate Rollins even more so, but to put Reigns in a picture in which he would be perfectly painted. I cannot stress this enough. Do it. It needs to be done. Will it be done? Probably not, because WWE doesn't want you to fucking legitimately care. They have your money anyway. Roman is, right now, boring. You want to turn Roman into someone who's must-see? I don't need to explain it to you anymore, man. Lesnar, Rollins, SummerSlam. Will WWE do it? Man, I hope so. I fucking hope so, man. Now, speaking about Extreme Rules, the report mentioned that Extreme Rules is already being booked by WWE? No. But by the PPG Paints Arena leaking their main event already. And by the sounds of it, I might not even want to go. Extreme Rules is the next pay-per-view after Money in the Bank. And it looks like WWE might have already an idea about how they are going to book the July 15th event in Pittsburgh. The PPG Paints Arena website is currently listing the main event for the upcoming Extreme Rules pay-per-view as a 6-man tag team match. If the website's current match listing is correct, we should expect to see Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, and Bobby Lashley versus Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Jinder Mahal in the main event of that pay-per-view. Please, please, I feel your excitement emanating from the other side of your computer screen or your Android phone. Believe me, I know you can't fucking wait for it, man. I marked it down on my calendar, man. I got the fucking Guinness on ice already for it. Says nobody ever. Seeing how it's Extreme Rules, there'll probably be some type of gimmick situation here. Should also be noted that the website is showing Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass as well as a continued feud between Cass and Bryan. That is something that I'm sure everybody is just excited about. Nobody's really looking forward to that, but it seems to fall in line with what we're seeing on television. Ronda Rousey, John Cena, and Brock Lesnar are also absent from the show's promotion, as the rest of the superstars listed to appear at the event currently include AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Jeff Hardy, The New Day, Charlotte Flair, Carmella, Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks, Asuka, and much, much more. Now, being that they need a world championship to be defended on the show, if Lesnar's not going to be there, and like I mentioned in the beginning of this show, why would WWE start a Samoa Joe AJ Styles feud at Extreme Rules instead of doing the build first at SummerSlam? You don't think WWE has it in the back of their mind, well, Extreme Rules is coming up. We could get another stipulation out of these guys because the event calls for it. What makes you think that WWE doesn't have at the top of their creative priority list? Nakamura, Styles, draw, last man standing. That match ain't going on last. Why is that match going to go on last? There's no reason for that match to go on last at Money in the Bank. The Money in the Bank is built around the Money in the Bank ladder match. That's the last match. Guarantee you WWE does a fuck finish with Styles and Nakamura just to get them into Extreme Rules. And another situation in which they can book a gimmick. Because the pay-per-view calls for it. It's a gimmicked pay-per-view. If I'm booking this, I'm not booking Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles to begin at Extreme Rules. Who the fuck wants to see that? That is for SummerSlam. Have Bryan and Styles. No, not Bryan and Styles. Joe and Bryan go at it before Joe goes to Styles. Bryan and Joe. Who the fuck wants to see Big Cass? You know? How is Samoa Joe going to keep busy? How is Joe going to continue to claim stake and threaten the WWE champion? I just beat your beloved Daniel Bryan. So be it. Put Bryan in front of him. Have that downward spiral continue for Daniel Bryan. It's okay. He could lose. He'll get that title opportunity sooner rather than later anyway. And then The Miz is going to be right there to take it away from him. And we continue that downward spiral until we see the ascent of Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 34. But the Extreme Rules pay-per-view might have leaked its main event. Now, take that with a grain of salt. The PPG Pants Arena and all arenas usually just get shit out there for promotion to sell tickets. You know, they did the same thing with Fastlane. We got a Fatal 5-Way, but it wasn't the guys listed on the arena website. It was switched a little bit. And then WWE took that Fatal 5-Way and made it into a Fatal 8-Way, or whatever the fuck they did. Fatal 6-Way, six-pack challenge, whatever the fuck they did. Whatever. Normally, it's the direction in which they're going, but it's not really the guys listed there. It's usually, kind of the same, but kind of altered. So don't take it with any validity, please. Take it with a grain of salt. But we could be looking at a 6-man main event at Extreme Rules in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Vince McMahon extremely frustrated with Kevin Owens. I wonder why. Why is this even an issue? Vince McMahon should be frustrated with the amount of fucking garbage on Monday Night Raw. He should line up all of his producers to say, why are you producing such shit? There's other things to be frustrated about besides Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens has been with the WWE for a little over 3 years, but he's made quite the impact on WWE television. With the exception of the WWE Championship, he's held every singles title that WWE has. He's been featured as a top heel on both Raw and SmackDown, and there's no telling what he can accomplish in the next 5 years, being that he just signed a new 5-year contract. Recently, Owens signed an extension with the company. WWE officials gave him a raise and business class travel to sweeten the deal. Well, they must not be that frustrated with him then. There's no questioning that the powers that be value him as a top performer. However, Vince McMahon is said to be unhappy with him for one specific reason. According to Dirty Sheets, take it with a grain of salt, Vince McMahon is frustrated with Owens and his weight. Again, this is a thing. It's being said that Vince McMahon has told Kevin Owens to lose the weight or lose your spot. And that's a direct quote. Lose the weight or lose your spot. Obviously, Owens wouldn't reach jobber status. However, it's unlikely he would be given chances to win the WWE Championship or become the Universal Champion. On paper, it seems unfair to demand this of Owens after already becoming a main event player. He was the WWE Universal Champion for nearly 7 months in a terrible title reign, by the way. And the WWE Universe accepted him in that role. Why would Vince McMahon threaten one of his top guys? The best thing about Owens is that he doesn't fit the mold of a traditional WWE superstar and offers something very different. I don't understand, the issue with this guy's weight. I don't understand it. Does anybody watching him or listening to me have an issue with Kevin Owens' weight? What does his weight have to do with the way he performs in the ring? Seriously. Does he do anything, that he's not supposed to? Does he go in there and does he act like a fat slob? Is he moving around at a lethargic pace? Slow as molasses? Is he moving as if he's moving in quicksand? No! Doing frog splashes off the top rope, rolling senton cannonballs. I mean, the guy's jumping all over the fucking place. Moonsaults. Dives out of the ring. Kevin Owens is performing like someone who's on 205 Live. So what is the difference if he loses weight or not? Maybe he can't lose the weight. Maybe that's his body type. If Owens is fat, then Bray Wyatt is fat. And I don't consider Bray Wyatt fat. Not even by a long shot. Bray Wyatt's husky. Good old Husky Harris. Doesn't mean Kevin Owens is fat. Kevin Owens is just husky. He's a thick guy. What are you going to do when you see Keith Lee in WWE? Is WWE going to have Keith Lee lose 50 fucking pounds? Right? Guy's flying over ropes like a fucking luchador. You're going to have Keith Lee lose the weight? Give me a break. You got bigger issues on Monday Night Raw than Kevin Owens' weight. Your show is trash. Your top guy is an uncharismatic brick wall. You're pushing him in a role that doesn't fucking suit him. Yet you want to complain about Kevin Owens' weight. What about Nia Jax's weight? She's your fucking world champion for the women. Is Nia Jax fat? Clearly, if the rule applies to Kevin Owens, then it should apply to everybody else. I don't understand this weight issue. We're not living in the 80s where everybody's injecting themselves with fucking steroids and they got muscles on top of muscles on top of muscles. They're not dropping dead by the age of 50. Kevin Owens is different. Kevin Owens is not a stereotypical WWE superstar. There's a role for a guy like Kevin Owens in WWE. And he's fine the way he is. If you're that fucking vain and petty to overlook the guy's in-ring and mic work, then Vince truly has lost his fucking mind. Then Vince truly doesn't belong monitoring and dissecting and micromanaging every aspect of the WWE product. Because if I'm running this company, that is the least of my concerns. Now, if Kevin Owens put on weight, that's the issue. But he looks the same. Ever since he debuted, he looks the same. He actually looks a little leaner. I don't understand this shit. I really don't. People are not getting pushed because they're overweight. People are not getting pushed because of their accent. What does the world come to? Can't we just sit down and watch these guys do what they do best? Wrestle? What has Kevin Owens done wrong on WWE television? He comes off like a fucking superstar. The guy does everything perfectly. And if that's the one thing that's holding him back to you, maybe you should look yourself in the mirror and find your own fucking flaws. Because I'm sure there's plenty of them. Monday Night Raw is trash and you're worrying about Kevin Owens' fucking weight. Give me a fucking break. Speaking of Raw, WWE has not used Jason Jordan on Raw. Where the fuck is he? Jason Jordan was written off television in February. He missed WrestleMania 34, and he hasn't returned to Monday Night Raw since. It was reported that Jordan had been medically cleared and has been backstage for Raw for the past few weeks. However, he hasn't been brought back to WWE television because of the following reason. According to a report from Pro Wrestling Unlimited, WWE officials don't have anything planned for him to do on Monday Night Raw. His gimmick as Kurt Angle's son didn't go over very well. The WWE Universe clearly will not forget the angle, but officials need to decide if they are still going to push the dynamic or move Jordan into something else on Raw going forward. Now, since Gable has been moved to Raw, the opportunity to reunite American Alpha is on the table. Something that I probably wouldn't do because the tag team division is fucking dead. And I would find that to be a waste of Jordan and Gable on Monday Night Raw. It might be better for Gable, but it would be a waste for Jordan. Because Jordan has gone ahead of Gable in importance on WWE television. Gable seems like a jobber. Jordan at least was mingling with the Shield and Rollins, and he was a tag team champion. In matches with Reigns and Cena on Monday Night Raw, Jordan has all the tools to be a 5-tool player in WWE. He is great in the ring. But the fact that they have nothing for him right now, it might still be the case. The perfect opportunity was to bring him back and him go against Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship. You're not going to hold Rollins back from achieving success of where he should be for Jason Jordan. No, you're going to move Rollins to the main event. Jordan's going to be in the mid-card. Don't know what that means. I don't know. But Jordan needs to find a role on Monday Night Raw because he's too talented. Or they need to find a role for Jordan on Monday Night Raw because he's too talented. Maybe you just wait for Dean Ambrose to come back and you feud him with Dean Ambrose. I don't know. I'm really stumped about what you do with Jason Jordan. My first instinct would to be, all right, put him back with Gable, get American Alpha back on television, but there is no tag team division. If WWE is mishandling their tag team division the way they are now, then why would you waste two guys like that in the tag team division on Monday Night Raw? And it'll go back to being exactly what it was. Nobody's going to give a fuck about them. They were the cream of the crop in NXT, and when they were brought to SmackDown Live, barely any interest in American Alpha. I could see why they broke them up. I wouldn't want that again, and I fear if they bring back American Alpha, it's going to happen again. Jason Jordan is an excellent in-ring talent, comes off very stale as a babyface. I was actually starting to appreciate him as a heel before he got hurt. I thought he was doing a great job. It was organic, and it looked like WWE was actually turning him into a heel. Legitimately. The expectation before his neck injury would be him turning heel to begin a rivalry with Seth Rollins or Kurt Angle. WWE officials could bring him back in a surprise attack against Angle to restart their rivalry heading into SummerSlam. There you go. There you go. This report nailed it. If you want to bring Jordan back, it needs to be heel, and then you worry about it then on what to do after Kurt Angle. But the fact that Jordan was flambasted by fucking Kurt Angle, and Kurt Angle was not playing favorites to Jordan when Jordan expected him to play favorites because he's his son. What better way? Maybe you line Jordan with Stephanie McMahon. Maybe you make Jordan the new corporate guy. You know? I think an Angle match with Jordan would be great at SummerSlam. That would probably be the best thing to do with Jason Jordan coming back and surprise attacking Angle at the start of a Monday Night Raw. Started off normal, like Angle would start Monday Night Raw normally. You know, coming out announcing some announcement, some main event for the night, and have Jordan just come from the crowd with a steel chair and just brutally attack Kurt Angle. Have him snap. You know? Have him snap. Couldn't wait to get back to work and just fucking destroy his father. Because he was never on his son's side, according to Jordan. Simple storytelling, man. That would probably be the best thing for him. He might need another chance as a babyface to get over, though, according to some. I don't think so. I think you bring him back in a situation like that against someone who's beloved like Kurt Angle, I think the fans would just fucking shower him with hate. Legitimately. Jordan would be a welcome addition into the Intercontinental Championship hunt. If they want to make him, keep him a babyface, maybe him and Elias would be a decent feud. But I think Jordan, again, would be better as a heel. There are plenty of heels for him to feud with on Raw, but WWE officials are right to hold off on his return until they have a plan. But yet they want to announce Sanity and the Authors of Pain for Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live respectively, and they didn't have a plan. You know? So they should have been kept in NXT until you had a plan for them. I guess I should give WWE some credit. They're leaving Jordan off television because they don't have a plan with him and they're waiting for the right moment. So, you know, when Monday Night Raw could use some reinvigoration here and a shot of momentum, maybe Jason Jordan could be that, you know? But having him off television because they don't have a plan seems to be the best situation for him right now. I like that Angle situation. Let's try and do that getting into SummerSlam. And I think it would make Jordan a great heel. Now, making Jordan heel, and you got Elias, and we're talking about Bobby Roode becoming heel, and then Roman becoming heel. You know, we're going to have a lot of heels on Monday Night Raw. So you got to be careful about who you're making heel and who you're making babyface. Some changes are needed. Some changes are desperately needed. I don't want them to turn everybody heel for the sake of turning everybody heel. But in most cases, it's right. But then this just goes to show you how shitty WWE character building is and their storylines are. When we're sitting here having everyone look better as a heel, then you know WWE is fucking up somewhere. It's their problem now to pinpoint where the problem is coming from. And it starts with the creative writing. WWE officials unhappy with Carmella. What else is fucking new? It doesn't take a fucking brilliant scientist to figure this one out. She's been awful since day one. The Princess of Staten Island became the SmackDown Live Women's Champion the night after WrestleMania 34. She held onto the Money in the Bank briefcase longer than any other holder in history. And she's touting that as some type of record. Okay. Most people were prepared to see her win the title, but a lot of fans didn't know how long Carmella's reign would last on SmackDown Live. Over the last 2 months, Carmella has been featured in quite a few promo segments, but very few matches. She's been slowly building to a match with Asuka at Money in the Bank, but some fans want to know why she hasn't been wrestling that many matches on WWE television since winning the championship. Yes, Teach, I got the answer for you. Yes, Mr. JD, why hasn't Carmella wrestled many matches on SmackDown Live? Because she's fucking terrible, Professor! That's why! You are correct. According to the Wrestling Observer, it is now being rumored that the WWE may be unhappy with Carmella's skills inside the ring. Go figure. Now WWE, as of this week, is unhappy with her skills inside the ring. You couldn't determine that after she wrestled Charlotte at Backlash in a half-a-star match? A 0-star match? To me? The entire match was her shrieking and screaming and making sex sounds. I don't know if I was watching a Pornhub video or a WWE Women's Championship match. Oh, but she's playing a good heel though, right? She's getting a reaction from the crowd. No, she's making the crowd do this. I don't want to listen to you anymore. Bryan Alvarez commented that she's just not good in the ring. Good observation there, Alvarez. Good observation there, bruh. I appreciate it. That's his opinion. No, it's not an opinion. It's fact. That's not Alvarez's opinion. Okay? Don't at me. She's terrible. Alvarez says she's not good in the ring. I think he speaks for 99.999999999% of the audience. It brings some light and some importance, to the situation and the topic, because many people in the company feel the same way. Unfortunately, this is not a good thing for Carmella. The SmackDown Women's Champion has a lot of charisma. She has decent microphone ability that has her at least carry segments in which she is booked on. However, lacking the in-ring ability could be a huge problem for her. In a division with Charlotte, Asuka, Becky, Naomi. What are you doing? What are you doing? in a division that has Asuka, Charlotte, and Becky fucking Lynch. This is the woman you have representing that women's championship? Yet Becky has not held that championship since the days of Alexa Bliss in 2016. If I need to pinpoint where the issue is here, I don't know what to tell you. If that sits well with you, I don't know what to say. Unfortunately, the women's roster on SmackDown Live is overflowing with heels. The only strong baby faces are Asuka, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch. You got Naomi there as well. All 4 women should be able to carry her through a match, but she needs to step up her game and learn if she wants to win the SmackDown Women's title again before her career is over. You know, if Carmella has been doing this for a few years now, and you put her in the ring with Charlotte, and she gave you a fucking terrible match, horrific match, something that resembles fucking Friday the 13th and Freddy Krueger. This is what nightmares are made of. Carmella being women's champion. Carmella in the ring on SmackDown Live. If she can't get it right now, she's never going to get it right. He might as well just place her in the category of the Dana Brooks and the Eva Maries and the Lanas of WWE. Yes, she's a world champion. I look at Carmella, I'm like, all right, she's attractive. But when I look at Carmella and think champion, absolutely not. Never in a million years, man. Whatever. Impact Wrestling. Haven't talked about them on this show in a while. Eli Drake headed to WWE. Eli Drake's run in Impact Wrestling saw him reach huge heights, but it looks like his time with the company could be coming to an end if he can't agree to a new deal. As with every other instance of a top name and their contract running out in Impact Wrestling, fans will naturally assume that they are WWE bound, but as it turns out, it might not be as cut and dry for Eli Drake because he had a great time in Impact Wrestling and might not want to go anywhere to potentially get lost in the shuffle of the WWE machine. It's funny, I quote, "It's funny you should ask because I just got asked that question and there is no answer to that question," said Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio after being questioned about Eli Drake's current contract status. He goes on to say he's not signed the new deal with Impact. He's talking to Impact, but there's no feeling one way or another. It's just very much up in the air. WWE could really use Eli Drake on their roster, but NXT is the most crowded it's ever been, so they don't necessarily need him. However, with his skill set and ability on the microphone, it might make sense for WWE to go ahead and get him if they can, as they continue adding to their collection of outstanding talent at the WWE Performance Center. From what I've seen of Eli Drake, there is absolutely nothing special about him whatsoever. He is as bland as they come in the ring. What makes Eli Drake a great pickup for WWE and putting him in NXT if he's not going to outshine anyone, not even come close to anyone that is currently there? This would merely be, I'm not going to say it's on the level of a Bobby Lashley pickup, but this would be an absolute fucking waste of a pickup and just signing someone for the sake of signing them to take them away from Impact Wrestling, to spite them, to be petty. The best thing Eli Drake has going for him right now is his microphone skill. But what makes him stand out, if you're going to bring him to NXT, what is the one thing that's going to make Eli Drake stand out amongst everyone there right now? Nothing. This would be a waste of money. If I'm Eli Drake, stay with Impact. You're gonna go to WWE. You're gonna get lost in that NXT fucking brand. I tell you right now. I don't even think do people even care about an Eli Drake? Are people going to make enough noise if Eli Drake comes to the Performance Center? Are they going to care 2, 3, 4 months down the line when Eli Drake is in WWE, in NXT? Are they still going to care? You got to ask yourself these important questions. What does he bring to the table? Nothing. You know how many guys look like Eli Drake, sound like Eli Drake? You got to ask yourself, is he going to be a game changer? No. Not even close. Lashley should have stayed in TNA. Eli Drake, don't make the same mistake Bobby Lashley did. It ain't sunshine and rainbows on the other side of the fence, my friend. You're a big fish in a small pond. continue to be that in Impact Wrestling. Work out a deal, make your money, and continue doing your thing in Impact Wrestling. You come to WWE, there's going to be nothing that makes you stand out amongst anyone that's already there. And I mean that wholeheartedly. This is no blind hate towards TNA. From what I've seen of Eli Drake over the days that I've watched Impact Wrestling, from the times that I tune into Pop TV, because I get Pop TV, there's nothing that makes Eli Drake stand out. Just like Bobby Lashley. Everybody was high on Bobby Lashley. Even in Impact Wrestling, I see nothing about Bobby Lashley that makes me say, man, I wish he was back in WWE. If there was, I would have said it. Eli Drake would be a waste of money for WWE. Finally, guys, we're going to end with this. Why the Cruiserweights don't appear on Monday Night Raw anymore. Ladies and gentlemen of the class, why do the Cruiserweights do not appear on Monday Night Raw anymore? Professor, I got the answer. Yes, Mr. JD. It's because they're better wrestlers and performers than what we're getting on Monday Night Raw. It's because they actually have a precedent on wrestling now, where Monday Night Raw has a precedent on garbage. Yes, we got the answer correct. JD, you get an A+ for the class. Do I need to read the report to you? Why aren't the Cruiserweights on Monday Night Raw anymore? It's because they are wrestling now. Oh, there's too much wrestling in these matches. Oh, these guys are going to outperform Roman and Finn and Kevin and Seth and the B Team and Bobby Roode and Elias 7 weeks in a row. Said it once, I said it 1,000 fucking times. Always go back to it, because it's a classic. The Cruiserweight Classic. Kota Ibushi, Cedric Alexander, that match. You take that, you put it on Monday Night Raw. No way on this planet that those guys would not get over with that body of work in a main event spot on Monday Night Raw. You know, why aren't Cruiserweight titles and Intercontinental titles treated like important titles more so than they are now? You know? WWE has done a great job to turn around 205 Live. Why isn't 205 Live on Monday Night Raw now? But WWE wanted to hype the Cruiserweights in 205 Live. And what they did every single week. When Vince McMahon had 205 Live, they didn't even last 2 minutes and 5 seconds in a match or a segment on Monday Night Raw. The only time they got television time extended, the only time they got main event time was when the title was on Enzo. Because he was a character-driven personality. Do you see how fucked up WWE is? How could you watch 205 Live now and watch that Buddy Murphy versus Cedric Alexander match and not want to see that type of talent, that type of match on Monday Night Raw? The reason why the Cruiserweights are not on Monday Night Raw now is because there's too much wrestling. They would outshine and put to shame everything on that show. And do you think Vince McMahon's going to want to put something that Triple H is in charge of on his show to make his show look like shit? To make him look inferior in any way? Fuck no. That's the reason why the Cruiserweights aren't on Monday Night Raw. Cruiserweights came with the shakeup. The Cruiserweights came with the draft. Where the fuck are they now? Not even a peep from anybody on 205 Live. That's a goddamn fucking shame. One fan asked Meltzer about the Cruiserweight division, why they haven't been on Raw recently. And he responded by saying that they will be touring with Monday Night Raw, as well as appearing in dark matches, but it doesn't look like they'll be part of the actual Raw 3-hour broadcast anymore. For the reasons that I gave you. Those are the real reasons. It was a good idea until it wasn't anymore. But the short Cruiserweight matches did not help at all on Monday Night Raw. It did little to help give those guys any sufficient platform to show their abilities. While it's always a good thing to be on television, it didn't do much to assist in the promotion of 205 Live. At the end of it, it looks like Triple H took over 205 Live after Vince McMahon handed over the keys to the kingdom. Blocking off time on Raw for the Cruiserweight division is no longer a thing. That's the reason why they aren't on 205 Live anymore. And I'm sure Triple H doesn't want his guys going over there being given 2-minute matches when we're seeing 25-minute classics with Cedric Alexander and Buddy Murphy. Everybody on 205 Live looks important. Everybody. They go over to Monday Night Raw. Who the fuck is this guy? Get him off the show. We got to put him on the show, fit him in, give him 2 minutes max. There's no reason why a Buddy Murphy and Cedric Alexander match should not be showcased on Monday Night Raw at a prime spot to get that fucking crowd excited. No reason. And there's no way you're going to put that match on Monday Night Raw and it's not going to excite the fans and get over. You'd be surprised what people would do if they see a match like that. The fucking casuals in North Carolina on Tuesday night with half-empty seats started chanting, "This is awesome." You put that fucking match on in a full arena on Monday Night Raw, believe me, they would get over. Start showing them some fucking respect. You don't see matches like that every fucking week. When you got something like that, showcase it. Fucking Vince and Dunn and everybody else are just fucking blinded to the fact by money. They don't give a fuck about wrestling. They don't give a fuck about this show. They don't give a fuck about the quality of the product. All they give a fuck about is the quality of their lifestyle. And they're using these guys to build an empire and a life of their own for themselves. Meanwhile, it should be the talent first and your priority second. Fuck out of here, man. Cruiserweights don't appear on Monday Night Raw anymore because they'd fucking school everybody and show everybody what really should be number one. Wrestling. There's entertainment in the wrestling. If you weren't entertained by that fucking match, man, you're not a fucking human being. I don't give a fuck if you don't know who a Buddy Murphy is or Cedric Alexander is. I don't give a fuck. You're gonna know who they are if you put that fucking shit on in a prime spot on Monday Night Raw with limited commercial interruption. Cruiserweight Championship should be a title that's taken seriously. If you're gonna get a serious body of work like that, it should be accompanied with some serious fucking direction and care. It's sad that it's not. I'm getting out of here, man. That's your Off the Script. We went 2 hours. You guys want anything else from me? Huh? The hardest working fucking man here on YouTube when it comes to fucking wrestling podcasts. Anybody else? Any other fucking scrub gonna give you a 2-hour wrestling podcast on a Friday afternoon? I don't think so. I don't think so, man. Off the Script 224, part number 1. Thank you so much. Hit that thumbs up. Follow me on social media, man. Twitter, JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for notifications. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Barbershop Window for your t-shirts. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Harrys.com/script. And then audibletrial.com/offthescript, man. Thank you guys so much. I'll be back with part 2. We got major plans, and WWE actually has a long-term plan for Ronda Rousey. Long-term and WWE in the same sentence? I don't know, man. Is it fake news? We'll find out on part 2 of Off the Script. Until then, have a great Friday afternoon, and I'll see you guys right back here on Saturday afternoon with part 2 of episode 224. I'll talk to you later.